Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Always something to talk about on this morning. Well, my guest, let me start from there. My guest this morning, a friend, haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, Dr. Dan Ekere, lecturer, Department of Philosophy, University of Lagos. Thanks for coming on, Dan.
Thank you, Yori. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Indeed. And, well, let's go. EFCC, Attorney General of the Federation. Is there a crisis of confidence, seeing as the AGF has decided to ask for a report, a status report on some of the quote-unquote serious cases that the agency is prosecuting? Well, I don't know how unusual that is, but immediately some people are smelling a booby trap. What's your perspective, Dan?
Thank you, Yori. You know, governance, there are always such issues in governance. You always have issues of suspicion and, you know, booby traps and all manner of traps.
Banana peel.
Yes, you know. So it is not unusual, but the worry from media reports and all of that. Now, we really do not understand, you know, the basis for this request by the AGF, making a demand on the Attorney General, the chairman of the EFCC, to, you know, forward certain reports regarding what he tagged serious cases. I don't know which one is a serious, you know, which one he tags to be a serious case. Because for me, every case of corruption that the EFCC is handling is a serious case. Now, I hope it is not an issue where, you know, the Attorney General is trying to wade in to kind of give either soft landing or even do away with some of those cases such that they will not be in the public glare anymore. We never can tell. Now, we have a challenge in which the EFCC made a lot of recoveries. We never heard from the Attorney General any day that the EFCC should make public or whatever they have recovered and all of that. The Attorney General's office has not for once considered it reasonable to even give us the list of those that they have recovered loot from. A court of competent jurisdiction has even, you know, ordered the federal government to make such revelations. I don't know if it has been done because I don't read paper every day, so it's possible the list has been released. I wouldn't know, but you are the one who sees papers every day. I'm here to see that. Now, we have not seen the Attorney General make, you know, a prompt response to that. You know, that, okay, these are the people from whose certain amount will recover. This is how much we recover from this. At least that will make for proper accountability. We will know that so and so person. Now, there was equally this case of, oh, you cannot make such a whatever before the court case, that there are legal issues. Legal issue as to what? That somebody, whatever name you call it, whether stole or kept, all right? This person brought so amount. You have now said this person stole so amount. Is there any crime in doing that? All of that has not been done.
It hasn't.
Now you are now going to the EFCC. EFCC have not said, okay, we have got to this point, AGF, please take off from here. That is not the issue. I expect that they should do their various duties diligently.
But the letter, as you know from newspaper reports, you know, dated August 1, was saying that it was, its title was Compliance with the Economic EFCC Enforcement Regulations of 2010.
Yes.
So compliance with enforcement, as you said, out of the blue.
So who is complying now? Is it EFCC or who? Because if that is the title of a letter written to the EFCC chairman, it means that you are asking the EFCC chairman to comply. That's right. That's the sense I guess. Yes. Now, you've not even made any issue on the particular cases you are talking about.
No. No. So there wasn't any reference to anything.
Yeah, so it seems as if they have not even been working together. Because the Attorney General is the law officer of the country. I expect that cases that have to do with prosecution, he should be, you know, at the head of it.
Yeah.
So no, is it that he has not been part of the process? Or does he have any other plan or any other agenda outside the anti-corruption agenda? Or perhaps he wants to fight it at a different level. We really do not know. Now, and the details are not too clear as to what exactly he tends to do with those, you know,
information that he's furnished him.
And I hope it's not related to ex-governors or some governors, because, you know, the way and manner so many of these governors play their politics, particularly where you have a situation where, for instance, at one point or the other, the Attorney General had maybe somewhere or the other soiled his hands before.
I hear that...
You know, this kind of blackmail comes
I hear that ex-governors, you know, might indeed be in focus in all of this. But you see, the point is, EFCC has its job clearly spelled out.
Why don't leave the agency to do its job? Then when it gets to your own duty, you do yours. Everybody has a responsibility.
But when it comes to supervision, supervisory, you know, no institution is a law unto itself.
Of course.
Is it entirely out of the ordinary in a situation like this for the Attorney General?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
because
it's not. I don't think so. I mean, he's the legal officer, the law officer, so to say, of the land. So he could get reports, all right? You see, but even the way the thing is reported in the paper, there are a lot of suspicions. And you know, the media is like a spiritual agent, the way it works.
Well, it's felt one of the suspicions. Again, we can entirely lean on newspaper reports here, so we're not accused of too much speculation.
Of course.
One of the instances I see of concern is that the minister, the Attorney General, may choose cases to try. According to some commentators, some spokesmen.
Yeah, that is part of the suspicion that there is likelihood.
Yes,
there's a likelihood that there might be issue of selection. Now, what would be the basis of the selection? That we've not been told. That perhaps these are more grievous cases, or the amount involved is higher, or the persons involved, one thing or the other. We've not been told the parameters that are going to be used to perhaps sort those cases that you consider more interesting or whichever. So until all these things are brought to the public glare, before we'll be able to tell whether truly Malami has any hidden agenda or something.
You know, it's strange, but this is Nigeria. Here we have law enforcement, whatever they call, they're concerned with the law and upholding the law. So they should really be on the same page. But then we see these kind of scenarios now. Newspaper reports also include the detail that the president might have to wade into the matter. Well, I don't know how that is going to go, because what if the president decides to keep aloof? He did that once, and today we're still blaming him. Remember the whole matter about I can work with anybody and I don't want to involve myself in the procedures. Just go ahead and do it, whoever is thrown up. Now, if the president were to take that approach again, say, look, let this, sort it out amongst yourself. You guys hopefully are on the same page. It's a matter of institutional, shall we say, rivalry or jealousy.
I don't even see issues of rivalry. I don't see issues of rivalry. What is important is that the Attorney General has shown interest in what EFCC is doing, all right? Let's hope that this interest will be to the effect that it will speed up the process, it will put more bite into the process. But the way it is going, with the suspicions around it, I have my fears if that is the aim. And in any case, I don't think this will be one of such cases that the president will just want to, stay aloof, because this is a question of the image of the government itself.
Indeed.
Because what is critical now is that it is raising suspicion as to whether Malami himself is even committed to the anti-corruption project. That is what the reports are pointing at. All right?
A lot
so
of the,
a
lot of the legitimacy as thought of the Buhari administration vis-a-vis his choice at the polls is hinged on this commitment to tackle corruption head on.
Of course, because people have a lot of confidence in his person, that this is a man with character. But we do know that it is practically impossible for one man to fight corruption in a country like this. So the next challenge will be that even the men you pick to work with you believe in the same project. Not only believe in it, they should equally have some measure of integrity, some measure, of character to fight along with you, because it shouldn't be a case of you are fighting, that the little you've recovered, those behind you are doing the same thing that you are trying to fight, corner, whatever, or some are even weakening the fight. that will not augur well for the system. So we really need to see to it that the press should follow up on this thing.
I know exactly what's going on. Because
so let's get every detail regarding the request of Malami.
Yes.
Yes, let's know the aim. Let's know what,
as for the aim, again,
it goes beyond.
I know. Yes. But let me just before I take Mr. George, just one paragraph here. The letter reportedly contained the paragraph: the Honorable Attorney General observes that the Commission has been in breach of the above named, cited provision of regulation for some time. Hence, this reminder to the Commission to ensure compliance going forward. Okay, one moment, please. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to Dr. Dan.
Good morning. Thank you, sir.
Uncle Yori, I'm beginning to doubt the sincerity of the Attorney General in this fight against corruption. At first, he was allegedly against the confirmation of Magu, and I don't know how the president has even concluded that one as at now. This was the same thing that the former Attorney General did to try and incapacitate the EFCC chairman. When, during Jonathan's time, he asked the EFCC chairman to always take permission from him before he investigates any case. As far as I know, that is not the order contained in the EFCC Act. If the minister is trying to infiltrate into what the EFCC investigates and what it doesn't investigate, that will be the end of anti-corruption war. I think the presidency, whether it's the president himself or the acting president, should not keep quiet about this thing. We the populace, we want the government to speak out. If this corruption war is to be fought, it must be done transparently, and it must not hide anything. Anybody that is against it is against the people of Nigeria. Mr. Magu, as we know, is doing this job properly. But some people are trying to clip his wings. This must not be allowed, irrespective of who the person is. I do not see the reason why he must go to the Attorney General to seek permission on who to investigate.
Okay. I hear you. Thank you very much, Mr. George. But to be fair to the letter and the words of the letter, it just said that the EFCC is in breach of the regulation to keep it informed on serious cases. But as Mr. George has pointed out, there are all those other concerns. And especially I like his point about casting something of a shadow over the unity or the unison of the war against corruption by this administration.
Yeah, certainly. Now, the question of breach of the regulation, with respect to anti-corruption, what to investigate, who to
inform.
Yes. Now, if the challenge is that of, okay, they ought to brief the Attorney General, and maybe for some time he's not been briefed. If that is a breach.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's why they needed this as a reminder.
No, if that is a breach, the letter should be that you have run foul of this section of what have you. There's a need for you to, all right? Not that bring reports of specific whatever. There shouldn't be any such issue, all right?
Okay.
So that it will be clear to us that you are only trying to correct the EFCC, that you ought to follow this procedure to do this. But it must not be that it will be the Attorney General that will determine who to investigate and who not to investigate. Because that will rob the entire process of credibility. And it will rubbish the whole, the whole idea of fighting corruption.
Okay.
Because it is the one that is perceived to be corrupt that should be investigated.
Okay, one moment, please. Chidi in Kafanchan. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning to you, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Dr. Dan Ekere.
Good morning, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I take very much delight over the issue you people are discussing this morning. The truth of the matter is, I want to support the move the AGF has so far made. in respect of the anti-corruption fight in the country. Given the fact that we are in a constitutional democratic government, it is ideal for the AGF to know much about the issue that has to do with high-profile corruption cases that is being investigated by the EFCC, so that where it entails taking such cases to the court, I want to believe that it is the constitutional role of the AGF to prosecute such cases effectively to the letter. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Chidi. Again, what you say goes without any doubt whatsoever. But, you know, conspiracy theorists saying that, look, it is also possible that there might be an intention to determine which cases need prosecution and which don't. But then in any case, that's what they do. They determine which cases can go to court. No prosecutor wants to go to court and get it thrown out, get his stuff thrown out.
Definitely. So, now, those cases that will go to court, even the EFCC will be part of it.
Yes.
So EFCC is the one investigating. So it is EFCC that will eventually present to you what is being investigated and you know how far they've gone with the investigation. Now, the cases that you will take to court, if it's a question of, okay, you've not been briefing us of your various activities, it's a different thing altogether. So I expect that the request will just be, okay, please comply with this section of the Constitution or this particular regulation, that from time to time we should be updated.
And then how did we get to know about what it looks to me like an internal affair?
But where governors are being mentioned specifically, that you know, it might be tilted towards the direction of certain either former governors or whatever.
Okay, they will make sure it gets out into the public, right? To get some talk about it. Good morning, Mr. Yakub.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Then good morning to Mr. Dan.
Thank you. Good morning.
To me, I think if care is not taken, this fight against corruption is going to be uphill, because the station we have by the IG, the Attorney General of the Federation, will be calling the EFCC chairman that any case that you want to pursue, you should let him know about it. You see, it's unfortunate that we are going to continue for the long period of time for this kind of situation we find ourselves, because we say that we want to fight the corruption. Yes, we want to really fight. If we really want to fight the corruption, I think until we separate the office of Attorney General to supersede the efforts of the EFCC to fight the corruption, because the reason is this: assuming the EFCC want to take on somebody relative to Attorney General, and then before you take the person on, you let Attorney General know that, come, this person has 500 Nigerian money, I want to take him to court, or I want to take up the person. Do you think Attorney General will not going to interfere that, see, mellow it down, let me do my own investigation first? What I thought is this: it does not necessarily become the chairman of the EFCC. I want a station whereby the people that know something about law, really study the law, somebody like Femi Falana and Agbakoba of this world, head the EFCC chairman, and then they give them the resources. Those are the people I think they cannot bend the rules. That even though Attorney General wants to call them so that they will tell Attorney General, come, you know the law, I know the law, you cannot direct me. Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you very much, Yakub, for calling in. Okay, we'll take a break now. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back. The Attorney General's office wants the EFCC to furnish it with a progress report on the serious cases it is prosecuting. No, that's not the right word. Investigating. The rest of us are looking at, wait a minute, why? What's going on? So here we are. But then we've also said that it probably isn't out of the ordinary. Ordinarily, for the Attorney General to perhaps be briefed about ongoing, the sort of workload going through the EFCC. But at this time, because of our suspicions, we've been joined by our friend Alistair Wilcox, Chartered Accountant and Public Affairs Analyst. We've been looking at it. Some people are smelling a rat. Do you smell anything at all?
Well, when the first thing that come to my mind when I had this situation is what again? Because we've known of this seemingly not good relationship between the EFCC and the Attorney General's office, vis-a-vis all that went behind the scene as to the appointment, all the power play that has gone on between the SGF, Magu himself, the head of it, and then the Attorney General himself. So when things like this begin to happen, it gives cause for worry. And that's why the first thing that came to mind was, what again? So
you smell something, no matter how slight?
No matter how slight it is, there is something to smell. There is just something to smell. And,
oh dear.
And sincerely, it's worrisome. Because
if you were to turn it around, just as an intellectual exercise, could a case be made for the Attorney General's office that why is everybody making a mountain out of this particular anthill?
Well, in a normal environment, devoid of all the wranglings that we've had in the past, so much suspicion, so I think it behoves on every operator of government to be more skeptical in taking certain decisions that you want to do. There should be that backroom discussions.
Yeah.
If things are genuinely done, there should be that backroom discussion. This issue of making it official letter to the EFCC chairman requesting information on all the... Yes, I agree that it has been said, I have not really read the EFCC Act as to who the EFCC chairman reports to, but it has been said that he reports to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General has the prosecutorial powers to intervene in every prosecutorial matter.
Besides, they pointed out a regulation of 2010, that an EFCC regulation actually would have them do this, and that the letter was nudging them into remembrance that you've been in breach for a while. See if you can fix this whole matter.
Well, the way you put it, this matter, that's a comical aspect of you, which I'm sure even the viewers enjoyed. But sincerely speaking, it's a serious issue. I don't have a problem in observing regulations. But, of course, the motives must be very clear. Betterment of the entire society. And strengthening this war, because this war against graft and corruption has been fumbling and wobbling with a lot of obstacles on the way.
I hear you,
either
sir.
it's coming from the DSS,
I'm hearing you. Sorry, sir. I'm hearing you loud and clear. I hear you and I understand you. But if it is a regulation that they are being nudged to remember that you've been in a breach of, please see what remedial action you can take. I think that's the way governments phrase those kind of things.
Yes,
you know.
I am all well for it. In that light, I'm all well for it, because regulations must, because those who put regulations in place put those regulations in order to have check and balances as to, so that nobody runs solo. I mean, they say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. So you must be responsible to somebody. But if you've said that the EFCC has been in breach since 2010, they're talking about 7 years in breach of a regulation. And the Attorney General has been, the Office of the Attorney General has, cannot deny ignorance, cannot deny knowledge of some of the cases that has been going on, or even the entire space of the corruption industry, because it's an industry in Nigeria. The Attorney General cannot deny knowledge of what is happening and all that. So
corruption industry.
So it's an industry.
Yesterday we heard about the Boko Haram industry.
But the fact is, it's a big industry, and in fact, I think it's the biggest industry.
Should the presidency wade into the matter, as it is thought he might need to, if this continues, so that it doesn't get out of hand and become a rough fight? I
think that the presidency should have waded into this whole issue long before now, because when it was rumored, I'm not Nassau Rock, I don't even know how the gate looks like, but when there has always been this rumor that, there were elements within the presidency that never wanted Magu in the first instance, elements within the system that has never wanted this to happen, that to happen, understandably so, because you are dealing with a corrupt system. Irrespective of the party in power, you still have men and women whose neck deep is in freezing away the enterprise of that. Call Nigeria. They are still interested in it. It's only when there are strong institutions and strong checks and balances that will call them. So if there's any way they can subvert, of course, human nature and Nigerian nature, we always want to do it. So the presidency should have, long time before now, really call everybody to order and give the marching order and say, this is where we want to go. And those who are not ready to fall into line with this directive, and then I think they should be shown the way out.
Okay,
there's a lot of things happening.
Ekele in Kumasi, Ghana. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning, Thank you.
Good morning, Ekene.
Yeah, my contribution about this anti-corruption war and the clash EFCC and AGF clash over government case. You see, corruption cannot fight corruption because the name Nigeria himself, the way the structure, the foundation of Nigeria himself is corrupt. Because before we can talk about this corruption in Nigeria, let us start it from the beginning. How did this nation called Nigeria form? It was formed in a corruption way. And I cannot see any reason if somebody will wake up and say he is fighting corruption in Nigeria, why the presidential jet that is consuming almost 10 billion naira is packed empty in the London. Who is paying that tax? Or are they paying the tax of that presidential jet from the salary of Mr. President? Or what are they trying to tell me? This government, they are more sincere in fighting corruption. We have many ministers in this regime that their case is in EFCC custody. Look at the case of Oji Bokali. Since he moved from PDP to ACC, who have heard his case again? The case is died. So this government is not fighting corruption because the corruption in Nigeria is too much. The name Nigeria is corrupt.
Okay then, Ekele. But if you say it is too much, it means that efforts might seem insignificant. But to say it is not fighting corruption, again, that's your perspective.
The war against corruption is just in the map. But my moderator, please, can you tell me the outcome of the collegiate, the money they discover in the police, the money they discover in the supermarket and all that? Can you just tell me how the case ended? Because since the Mr. President traveled out, nobody has heard anything about that case. Even the case of Babala Ochewa, who asked who is Mr. President the time they gave him an IBP clearance Bush corruption case. Nobody has heard it because the acting president is supposed to submit the report he gave from that case.
Yeah.
Before the president left to the London. Up to now, nobody has heard about it.
Okay. Ekele, thank you very, very much. You were just firing. You've had a couple of questions in there. It just reminded me of the, I don't know, is it Johnny Nash's song? There are more questions than answers.
Let me just
all those questions. Who has the answers to them?
And address Ekene a little bit. Ekene, I think if responsible men, educated men, intellectual men like you keep hammering on these seemingly unnecessary issues, then you are not helping the system. And like you said, the corruption is very, very big. You're not helping the system. Now, what is the correlation between the president being sick and having his legal entitlement being kept for him and the fight against corruption? What is the correlation? Well, sorry, excuse me. And this point must be made. People are using...
You know, people can make comments. And so,
yeah, we must also address their mind.
Yes.
So there's no, for me, there's no simple, any iota of correlation. Yeah. Two, you're talking about the Ikoyi Gate. I keep hearing people shout about the Ikoyi Gate. The Ikoyi Gate has been sorted out under the government and that the court has ordered a final forfeiture of the money into the federal government account. As of today, Ikoyi Gate is a closed case because nobody has all the parties that were laying claim to the money, no one could establish any guilt. And the government, the court has given a final forfeiture that the money now belongs to the federal government. The money has gone to the treasury.
Indeed.
How does that become an issue?
Gentlemen, as you know, when you talk corruption, it has so many tentacles. Yes. So it went there. We want to stay on the letter of the Attorney General to the EFCC, reminding it that it was in breach of regulations of the 2010 Act. And a call coming in from Maryland. James, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you?
Thank you very much for calling in, sir.
Yeah. Please, our first question I have for your guest and yourself.
Oh,
who is the AGF?
Me, I just ask. I don't answer any.
Okay. Who is the AGF representing and who is the EFCC representing in Nigeria? We need to ask these two questions. Who is the AGF representing and who is the EFCC representing? That is one. Then, Okuyori, remember this same station, we've talked about Saraki over time. And today, the case of Saraki is this swept under the carpet. we come up with another. You see, these people know the way to go about this whole thing. Nobody is fighting corruption. I supported Buhari when he came in. I voted for him. I said I was not going to aid today because things are not moving the way they are moving. Okoyori, look at the level of corruption today in Nigeria, even down to power today. You see them taking ladders everywhere. They want to drop your lights in the name of what? They want money. That is corruption. So who is fighting who? Who are the EFCC representing and who is the AGF representing? Until we ask this question, because they are representing the same body. And the same body, they are fighting themselves. How come that the AGF will not know what is going on and you are calling the EFCC boss to come and tell you what is going on? That is, he's not doing his job or he does not know his role. This thing needs to be done inside, not when you come and put everybody in the dark and you come out and start looking for a way to sweep things under the carpet. Then you bring out another new swag just to put people on the dark. It's totally bad in this country. It's bad, and we need to cry out, and we are crying out for crying out loud.
All right then, James. Thank you very much for calling in. So this now brings it down to really something of an evaluation of progress so far. In other words, to speak in plain English, has corruption diminished since the arrival of the Buhari regime?
Certainly not.
Oh dear.
Certainly
2 years in.
No, there's still corruption.
You can never wipe it out.
Of course.
But,
even the ones that they have...
Has there been any taking care, things are not the same as it was before?
There's still corruption and it's going on at the same level.
The
only thing is that, see, the level of impunity, level of impunity that existed before now, has kind of reduced in a way. Before the illness of Mr. President, because... Yeah, there was this fear that, that's not to say there's no corruption, but there's this fear, because before now, you flaunt even the fraud you are, perpetrating. Yes, it was done with impunity.
No. We have people who are flaunting their criminality, knowing full well that nothing can happen.
No, but the challenge is that
the system.
The plenty of names that have been paraded, how many of them have actually gone to jail? And the issue of the Koyi that the other man mentioned, yes, the money has been forfeited, but we do know money does not have legs. Money does not move. Who took it there?
So no.
Those things were not dealt with. Those things were not dealt with.
Chukudi in Magodo, I believe.
No, from Ogudu.
Ogudu. Good morning, Mr. Chukudi.
Good morning. When I argue with people about corruption, when people say Buhari is not fighting corruption, this and that, I tell them, I said, if Buhari fails, Nigeria will be like that man that Jesus Christ drove out an evil spirit from him. And when that evil spirit went back, he gathered 7 more. And then the man
exactly. God bless you.
That is how Nigeria is going to be. And I still maintain that. People around Buhari are not allowing him to fight this corruption. They don't want corruption for. A lot of people don't want this corruption for. That is the problem we have, including the AGF himself, including the DSS man. None of them wants to fight this corruption. And another problem we have is that our EFCC does not have the capacity to investigate and prosecute. They cannot do that. So I'm still saying, can we bring in FBI, CI16 or so to come and help us investigate and prosecute this? We have a lot of them, thieves all over. Sarati and the rest of them, they're all thieves. Making us there. We need to fight this
Chukudi, you can't make the sentence that you made. That sentence you made, you can't say that. You can't say anybody's a thief. But thank you, sir.
Court or competent
I understand that. But just to say that we dissociate ourselves entirely from that comment.
It's not correct to say that Buhari is not fighting.
Neither is it corrupt for him to say that Saraki is a thief.
No, we are not saying Buhari meant to fight.
With Dr. Dan here in talking about because he said it has not, and he admitted that it has.
No. What I said diminishing
corruption. And I said it
because even the one we are experiencing today that has been prosecuted, we didn't even know until it was revealed.
And I said it in my statement. And I said it in my statement that people's intentions is still to get corrupt. So there is still corruption going on. But the question was, has it diminished? I think we have gone more than 50%.
Okay. Has corruption diminished?
Okay. My brother, sir, good morning, sir. Good morning. I'll get to you. Corruption has not been diminished. Rather, it increased.
Now, my brother, you see, there is a crack right now in Nigerian fight for corruption. Because when the two elephants fight, it's the ground that suffers. Who are the masses? In a situation whereby the Attorney General is talking his own angle, the thing is, the question is this. At the onset, when everybody were there and labored, how was the situation? So why must all these things come up now? That Nigeria reach at the peak of fighting corruption, whatever at the peak. It's just whereby Nigerians have known that there is money in this country. Rather, the money are just inside some human beings' pockets. That's 10%, while the 90% are suffering. Now, we have discovered all this. The situation whereby to fight this corruption, to bring back this money, is another cross. What is that cross? Where the two elephants are fighting. Now, what do we do? The two factors or the two agents should be very careful. That's what I mean. If that is EFCC, they have been doing their job. Now, the only thing, there's no wrong, there's nothing wrong, but we just say that if AGF wants them to account for, no problem. After preparing their paper and charge the case to court, at the end of the month, they will give in the summary. Finish. But not the situation where now look at what is happening now. All these governors sold the state money, destroyed the state, and ran that to the National Assembly and be taking a cover. Now leaving the masses where they have destroyed. Now what do we do? It is a very bad situation whereby allow these governors to go back to the National Assembly, because I was expecting the agency to say that no governor should be allowed to be voted or to go and contest. If he has a case, he has to clear his case before going to contest. But we announced that they have a case outstanding, they will go and contest and rig an election in the state and go back to the National Assembly, destroy the Constitution, and the masses are suffering. It is very, very bad for us.
Okay.
To fight corruption.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi. Okay, let me come back to you because I interrupted you, but bear in mind, I'm going to Dan quickly.
Yes. Okay. The masses itself, according to Mazi, are not helping matters. Because there's no way you can say, except the constitutional provision that the governor should not go there. And we're talking about the diminution of corruption. Everybody seems to be looking at, and that mentioned the governors, everybody seems to be looking at the center. I tell at the center, with all the restrictions and the caliber of men that manages the treasury now, this brazen and impunity in flaunting corruption has been drastically reduced. You cannot wipe it off. Today, TSA implementation has drastically reduced the amount of exposure that people have. I always using it like, for instance, no longer has free money that comes from post-UTME to play around.
Sure.
So those things are part of the cutting that, but you cannot eliminate corruption. And like the first man said, I will say, God bless him. If we all do not support and cry out and begin to attack those that are killing us, our case will be worse than the man that 7 more demons come out. Because it will look as if, if a whole powerful Buhari cannot do it in 4 years, who else can do it? And that's a danger signal.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed Kontagora, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Yes, I want to. I'm saying good morning to you and your visitors.
Thank you.
Please, I want to comment on 2 things. One, the president's jet. There is entitlement.
Mr. Mohammed, we're talking about the AGF's letter to EFCC, reminding them that they have not been briefing them on serious cases.
That is the second thing I want to say.
I thought it would be the first.
If the AGF says...
No, AGF, Attorney General of the Federation.
AGF says it should be contacted, and it is not clearly stated in the law. That means corruption is beginning to start.
No, sir. There is a provision, apparently. There's a regulation, apparently, that requires the EFCC to keep the Attorney General's office, posted on serious cases. So this letter went out to the chairman of EFCC, that reminding him that they were in breach of that regulation. That's the case, sir.
Okay, so then there should not be serious argument.
But people are smelling a rat.
Okay.
But some people are smelling a rat, saying that, does this mean that the Attorney General by this wants to now begin to select which cases to prosecute? I mean, you know, just suspicion. I think that's where the whole story came about.
Oh, all right. If there is law, yes, it should be obeyed. But,
all right, then.
Really, there should be checks and balances.
Thank you very much, sir. Indeed. There should be checks and balances.
Certainly.
Nobody agrees. Nobody argues with that.
Nobody's arguing with that.
But you guys have said what everybody else is also thinking, that, but motives, and this is where I have my problem. So, what motives when the regulation is there? Yeah. A person doesn't need a motive. It just says whether I even have a motive or not is irrelevant.
At least
the regulation is there.
Regulation, yes.
So never mind my motives.
Yes.
Are we not going to comply with this regulation?
Certainly.
And I think that is the secure one.
No, that's the convergence of opinion here.
Yeah,
there must be
compliance
with regulations.
But now, I think the question is
as to why the AGF of AGS have not asked for that since 2010.
It's not it's the regulation that was
of 2010.
Of 2010, that's what I'm saying. So if subsequently the EFCC has been furnishing those reports to the AGF.
No, we don't even know. Maybe they haven't, but nobody has complained.
That's what I'm saying.
But so now the man has decided to complain.
If they have not, and then the man now decided to complain now.
Yes.
That's where motives comes in.
Okay. That's
very clearly, because number one, if you don't have any motive, what is of all the preponderance of issues that you have to deal with, of all the issues that your office has been accused, and there are issues going on in the National Assembly as to the separation of the office of the AGF and that of the Minister of Justice.
In fact,
those are issues. Really. There are other issues that are not EFCC related issues. The judges' issues that EFCC has no hand in it is only the DSS and the Office of the Attorney General. We're talking about Saraki issue that you are supposed to be appealing. That has come to your purview and all that. So there are a lot of issues for you to deal with. And then it is not your remembering regulation that they should furnish you. So there is clearly some element of a mischief and biases coming up to play. But that is not to say, take away that there must be compliance with regulations. And that is where institutions, we need to make institutions work in this country. In other countries, in the US, we have serious interagency rivalries. Not personal rivalries.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you very much. Now, I wonder, you see, this because it comes down to the fight against corruption by this Buhari administration. Everybody was on board. It's a major part of why Buhari was voted in. What's the impression you get, Dan, as to the readiness, real, genuine readiness of our people to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to fighting corruption, to shunning corruption, to be scandalized by a corruption? Do you see people being shocked if they get any? In short, what's the attitude and disposition of the ordinary man?
The challenge with corruption is that he's a man who has not had access to money that talks about let's fight corruption. You see,
it is the man who has not had access to money.
To those government access to all these funds that are being stolen. Where you are from the other part of it, you'll be fighting. These thieves. But you discover that the same people who have been making this claim, each time they get there, they do the same thing. All right. So now we do not really mean to fight corruption.
You think so?
We don't.
Okay.
Because those who have stolen this one.
Let me come back to you because I want to take Larry in Madrid, Spain. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you, sir, for calling in.
It's wonderful to have people like you taking. But my fear is this. The first thing, are the right people who are supposed to be hearing this program and listening to it at the right time?
Yeah.
Because it will just look as a waste of time when we are discussing something that affects the nation. And those who are supposed to be hearing it are not hearing it. One, my contribution concerning the message of the day. The AGF is supposed to be the chief prosecuting officer of the country, if I believe that. Now, since 2010, the promulgation of the EFCC, and they have been functioning 7 years now. Why is it now that the AGF is now writing an open letter to the EFCC chairman concerning a breach? What's supposed to be an internal problem? If there is any breach or any wrongdoing from the EFCC chairman, he should be the one writing and tell him what he needs to do. And even the case of this technicality in some of the cases, big cases the EFCC has lost, it falls down to corruption, total corruption, because the people themselves have not been helping the issue. And that's why the technicalities have been coming up. Who are those one behind the technicalities? We have many sons in Nigeria who can fight and bring about correct investigation. But at the end of the day, issues concerning big wigs, governors, they lose on technicality. What are those things? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Larry, for calling in. Glad to have had you.
The point I was trying to make, like this AGF's letter to the EFCC, I'm sure it's an internal memo. And internal memos are actually allowed in government circles.
Yes.
Yes. So it is just that the press decided to bring it out for us to see.
Because there's so many,
and because of the attitude of the AGF over time towards the Magu, people are now reading meanings to it. So we really don't know what he intends to do. That's what. But on the issue of whether we believe in this fight or corruption, I am telling you that genuinely Nigerians don't. It is those who have not had opportunity of being in government position to
that are being the loudest.
Yes, because now these governors that we are talking about, who are in the Senate, who are in different, how did they get there? They were voted for by the same people who are telling you fight corruption, fight corruption. And when you witness a campaign rally and the various campaign arrangements, these same people who are telling you fight corruption are the ones who ask for kickbacks before they even do some things. Some of them are paid at election points. Exactly. Not only that, you even have a situation here. You have been told, okay, this man has stolen so much from your state, the governors. How many states in Nigeria have actually risen up to say that this is our governor, we are demanding accountability from you, or that you have collected over the years, give us account, or let's see what you have done. Nobody.
Remember in one particular state where you know, assertions were made of some governor having stolen as much and this and that, and the response was, leave it, it's our money.
Are you getting it?
It's not your money.
Are those people that are ready to fight corruption?
Mr. Mohammed in Ikeja, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
I'm Comrade Ogbanago Mohammed Ibrahim.
You're welcome, sir.
My greetings to Alistair Wakeup.
Thank you, comrade.
Yes, sir. I think the problem is we, the followers.
Exactly.
You know, we have the problems of ourselves. You know, when we're supposed to have been looking at our local government chairman, you know, the House of Assembly members, our governors, and all that. We are focusing on at the center.
Only.
These are people who are supposed to have been taking care of the local government, the state, and our environment. But we are not looking at them because of our hatred for Muhammadu Buhari, because he has come to tell us that, look, we must stop this impunity, we must stop corruption, we must stop doing things the way we have been doing. Now he has become an enemy, and he has become the lone ranger in the fight against corruption. I think all of us must come together to fight this corruption. East Nigeria must come together as one. I am disturbed. I am so worried about the situation of this country. We are not getting it right at all. We are just attacking ourselves. Get to social media, you see people attacking each other. You know, youth attacking each other, fighting themselves. Look at, I'm from Kogi State. Look at what is happening in Kogi State today. The same people who we voted, the same people we voted into power to go and represent us are there fighting themselves. Look at Dinomelai and the governor. The governor got the seat at the platter of gold. He's not paying salary.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mohammed, for calling in. Really appreciate your call.
Let me conclude my point.
Has suddenly become the Lone Ranger of corruption.
No, the truth is that the man means well. We all know that he means well.
Sure.
You know, but he can't do it alone.
Okay.
Now, but those of us who are supposed to support him, are we really giving him the support? Because both his cabinet and the entire country ought to believe in this fight.
That's
for
right.
it to work out.
That's right.
All right. Now,
well, I'll assume that is indeed the case.
No, but the truth is that a lot of people don't.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but what needed to be done is that at least the president is a statesman. He's a statesman. So he needs to put every arsenal in place to ensure that, because those who are not prepared to cooperate with this fight of corruption have to, you know, give way. So something has to be done for the thing to materialize. Otherwise, if you keep on looking at, you know, what this one is doing, what this one is doing, obviously there's always that tendency in man to want to, you know, show some signs of corruption.
Alistair, I'm sorry, we've run out of time. So I want the question I want to ask now is, if I continue now, they will vex.
Let me just
sorry. As I was saying, we're running out of time. So I want you to really help out with What do you think we need to be doing now vis-a-vis this story? We probably need to air it a lot more so that we can remove some of these doubts in our mind, perhaps. We can't just leave it at this. Maybe the Attorney General has to speak, maybe the EFCC has to speak, maybe the presidency needs to speak about this matter.
There should be more openness in government.
Yes. Openness.
There's much openness in government. And the truth of the matter, from what the last caller said, unfortunately, the president does not have people who believe in him around him. That is the biggest challenge. And unfortunately, thing again, that those who work for this, generally work for this president, are nowhere near where these things are happening. Others that manage to get close to him, hijack everything, bring their brothers from abroad everywhere, and then to the detriment of the real people who really believed in him right from 2003.
And to the detriment of the project of fight of corruption.
Of what you do. So the president needs to either be watching these kind of programs or be doing things.
No, I assure you they are seeing these programs. That reminds me of what
there are people who come on other forums that really believed in him from day one, from 2003. And then that's one. Two, Nigerians must know one thing. There's only one entity called Nigeria. Look at Pakistan with this gate. What was that? Panama Gate. A prime minister has been sent packing. He's not involved. His children were the one involved. Nigeria had names mentioned in that Panama Gate. All you have is denial, denial, denial. And Nigerians are the shouting and fighting.
But in fairness, I've heard recently that the government is going to be taking a look at
if
some
the
of those names.
Look, out of the populace. You are talking about the populace.
Yes.
Everybody now, because like Ogbanga said, the president has now become an enemy. One, he defeated Jonathan. Two, he flushed PDP out of power. Three, he's a Fulani. So all that has made him now an enemy of the state. Of those that he's trying to protect, of those that he's trying to deliver from the shackle and oppression of the people. That's the irony of it all. So Nigerians must know this is a country, and this man is 74 years old. He has no stake, no serious stake than we that have more stake in the country to support him and take leadership and take this fight to the next level so that we get emancipated. The issue here is that we are being strangled by this so-called monster of corruption, perpetrated by our own people, and we are here clapping hands. Anytime he hears Lucas, we clap hands. We say, "Oh, Buhari has failed." If Buhari has failed, Buhari has succeeded as a life in his life from when he was in primary school to when he has succeeded in everything in his life. He's already failed as fighting corruption that he wants to fight for us. It is we Nigerians that have failed and not Buhari.
Thank you very much, Alistair. An angry Alistair will
very angry.
Angry on behalf of Nigeria and the ideals and the potential of what Nigeria could be. Exactly. Thank you very much, Alistair. Dr. Danikere, thank you very much as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your perspective.
Thank you so much.
That's our program today. Tomorrow is a new day. Join us for a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.